You're listening to 101 with Tommie Zam. On the 24th episode, we sit down with SoundzofZen talking about music and life. Let's do this. Hey Zen, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. You're an upcoming musician, and you definitely need to deserve to have the spotlight for this, to let everybody know who you are.
You're awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
So, is Zen your real name, or what's your real name? Sorry if I ask.
Yeah, my name is Bianca Cherie Amesqua. That's my full given name. And Zen is the name that I, over the last few years, have kind of created for myself.
Really? And
Yeah.
what? So, are you like, with your last name? Is that like French or something, or what is that?
No, my that's actually a funny story. So I grew up with a man in my life named Joseph Amesqua. So I got his last name, and that was Dad, until he kind of he passed away when I was like 7 or 8. So, but he's Mexican. He was from like Guatemala area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it's been so long, I don't even remember. But that's my dad's last name. That's yeah. So anyways, funny story. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. That's pretty crazy, man. I mean, that's a cool last name. I like that. I mean, my last name is Zam, Z-A-M. That's just, it sounds boring, Yours sounds more exotic, more out there,
Thank you. I like Zem.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a story behind that is it's a Jewish name, but when my ancestors came over get away from World War II, or was it World War II, the Nazis, they came over, and back in those days, when they came over, they had like really strong last names, or they couldn't understand them, this and that, and so my cousin, she went back and traced the name and couldn't find it. Zam is not in there. There's so many different ways it could be Sam or something, but so we think they just say, hey, you know what, we'll call you Zam, and that's it.
Interesting. Well, I like it.
Thank you. And what kind of bird do you have?
That is a parrot. His name is Hollywood. And
Okay.
He's entertained all the time. Yeah, always talking. He takes on even the sounds of people here. It's really, really eerie.
Really? Does he talk back to you and everything?
Oh yeah.
Does he say your name and stuff, or does he like?
He'll say names, or he'll repeat phrases. So like if you say a phrase long enough to him, he'll start repeating it. We play music for him a lot of the time, so out of nowhere he'll start singing like random little tunes and things like that. It's really funny. He's a really cool.
That's awesome, dude. I like that. My dog, I wish he would talk, but he doesn't.
I hear dogs do talk, actually.
No, I mean, we've been together. Him and me have been together for 11 years, so we know each other pretty well. So I mean, okay. He just gives me that look, and I'm just like, okay, I know what you want, dude.
It's it's that telepathic talking, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's a long marriage, I guess you can say, right?
How cute. What kind of dog do you have? I've seen pictures. He's a beautiful dog.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, his name is Elwood. He's an English Mastiff. He's 150 pounds, so he's definitely he's a well-known dog. Definitely is. He's a character himself.
Awesome. That's so beautiful.
Well, let's get into this. So what's since some of the viewers might not know who you are, and some do know who you are, tell us a little bit of background about yourself. Like, what got you into music, where you're from, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, I am from Pasadena, California. I was interested in music early on. My dad is also like in music. He's a producer, songwriter. He sings too. So I think from an early age that kind of, turned me on to it. And Yeah, it's pretty much just been a way for me to heal myself and express myself. And yeah, that's what I do.
That's awesome, man. And like, what, you said your dad was a producer and stuff. Did you go like to like different like gigs and stuff with him to see like his work and stuff, or what?
No, it was mainly like here at the house, we have a studio. So I
Mhm.
would see him in his own element, like, at home, kind of making beats and stuff like that. A lot of, I guess, behind the scenes things that he would do here. Never really too much, going out or anything like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And then that's what inspired you to become a musician. Did you go to like the school? How'd you learn on your own?
Yeah, so he inspired that. It wasn't honestly until like a few years ago that I made the decision to actually try this. I feel like for a long time it was something that I was afraid of, kind of didn't know that I could do it. And then a few years ago I kind of hit a point in my life where I was able to, make a choice and really lead the life that I want to live. And so my dad actually went to the Los Angeles Film School, and he told me about it, and we went and took a tour there of the school, and I fell in love, and I was able to attend that school for music production and meet some really amazing, really talented people at the school, and yeah, just get like firsthand experience, being in studios and writing with different people. And it was a great learning experience for me. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And so by you going to school and learning to become a musician, and or actually, learning the traits of being a musician, of being in the studio and stuff like that. I mean, and also having experience watching your dad. So did that easily help you out a little bit more better?
Um, I mean, the,
See,
I
I'm throwing some good
think,
questions out there, man. I got you on that
yeah,
rock.
that's a good question. That's funny because I mean, I never really paid attention to like the technicalities of, like making a beat, for example. I've always been driven by like just melody and writing. And I feel like that part just came natural to me when like things were going on in my life, So as far as that was something that would just flow. But yeah, I really didn't start learning to actually sit there and mess with, a like Logic or Ableton or anything like that to put together a beat until I went to the school and kind of just messed with it because I never even had the intention to like, to go that route. So anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then what kind of music inspired you when you were younger? Like, were you into like New Kids on the Block? Were you into like, I don't know, Michael Jackson, stuff like that, or what?
So the first memory I have is when I was like in elementary, and I remember my mom taking me to the movie theaters to go see Selena, and I fell in love with her story. And she was so young, and kind of seeing her dream play out on the TV screen. I think at that moment, that's when I knew that I wanted to do, something in music. And growing up, like middle school, I remember it was like Alicia Keys, there was Eminem, Britney Spears, that whole kind of pop um, era that went on, NSYNC, things like that I loved early on.
Oh, that's awesome. And so you felt like that's what inspired you to go out and, one of the ways inspired you to become more of a musician?
Yeah, that in life, I think just life, just getting to a point of wanting to express myself and trying to figure out, which ways I wanted to do that. And I think music was something that, came natural to me.
Yeah. And so you're saying like basically when you listen to music, it kind of like takes you into a whole different world of mindset, puts you in a whole different world. Do you feel that way?
Oh yeah, it moves me for sure. Yeah.
What kind of music moves you?
It depends what kind of mood I'm in. I see music like medication, like depending on how I'm feeling, I can take a dose of this or a dose of that. But I love like some of my all-time favorites, I'd say are like Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan. Those are ones that I can always go back to. Carole King, Erykah Badu. There's so many. Alicia Keys, I can go on and on. There's just it really depends on like how I'm feeling and yeah. Smokey Robinson.
Okay, Robinson, that's good, dude. Erica
Oldie
Badu, I heard in that too, man.
style. Huh?
I said I heard Erica Badu. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, she's one of my favorites for sure. I love her vibe, her just the way that her lyrics, her beats, her everything. I feel like it's so cohesive, so nice.
No, that's
So
awesome, man.
authentic. Yeah.
And that's awesome to have like that kind of music to motivate you and put you into a good state of mind of life, because I mean things are crazy, and with everything that's going on the last year and a half, to have music in your life to separate yourself from that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Music is everything. Definitely.
And how do you,
huh?
no, go ahead. What was that?
No, go for it.
Oh, sorry. And what I was saying is so do you feel like music nowadays is different to what it is to what you're listening to? Or like to like Bob Dylan, like for example, like do you feel like music nowadays is kind of like a different way of going, or do you feel it's still the same as like listening to Bob Dylan or Erykah Badu and stuff?
I mean, that's a tough question because I feel like, as a whole with what you see, what's out right now is kind of it just depends what you're listening to. I feel like there is a lot of music out there to be discovered, and there are a lot of talented musicians that are super authentic and, but no, I mean, we don't hear people. I don't think it's the same. There's like there's a different kind of vibe, but then every now and then you have somebody like Adele come out and, who is just so amazing and kind of takes it there again. So I don't know if that answers your question. I just feel like there's a lot out there, so it's kind of hard to answer something like that.
No. You answered the question good. You definitely did. It was definitely a good one.
Yeah.
And so where like how'd you come up with your name Zen? Like where did that come from?
That's a funny story. So an old friend of mine, he used to call me Sunshine Zen. And it was when I was going through like a really tough patch in my life. And so when I would hear that name, he would just try to like uplift me with that, Sunshine Zen, and kind of get me to see that positive side of things when I was, not so positive. And so I guess over time, as I started getting into the music and started more and more kind of like unraveling the parts of myself, that I was able to kind of just shed and let go. Zen stood, and I kind of just dropped sunshine, and Zen kind of just became that state of mind that I always, want to be at, that I always try to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I felt like it was befitting.
No, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. It's a cool name. And then Sounds of Zen. So that's your full musician name, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I wanted it to be Zen at first, but then I was like, well, if people are looking for me, like they're not, if you Google Zen, like, so much can come up. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, so I added sounds of, because it's more like bringing you into my bubble and letting me play these vibrations of me, share them with you.
That's awesome. I mean, it's a cool name. I like it. Sounds of Zen. I mean, it's very like earthy. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah, it's so funny. My friend, I said I appreciate it, and it's so funny that you said earthy because my friend who used to call me Sunshine Zen, he would always say that, like, to me too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyways,
that's awesome, man. And like so with your music and stuff, and having your dad as a producer and a songwriter and all that, and going to school and stuff, and it's kind of inspiring. Like, you have a really good story to tell, and do you feel like when you write your music, are you telling your story, or is this like an experience of stuff? Like, for example, like your single that came out last year called Love Will Find a Way. Like, like when I listened to it, I felt like there was a story behind all that.
Yeah. All of my music, it's like definitely written from things that I'm moving through in my life. It's so at that point when we wrote Love Will Find a Way, that was actually a gift because I struggle with like just depression and mental health, and really kind of work actively to keeping myself in a feel-good state, and that's so important to me. And so when we recorded Love Will Find a Way, that was kind of like the first moment of me coming out of that. So that was definitely a gift, and speaking to myself, and I just want to touch others in that same way, when you're going through situations like that.
Oh, that's awesome. And especially being, like people, there's so many people out there, in depression, who don't really know how to express themselves. And I think what I got from that song is that that little story you told me, and now I realize what you got from that song is like kind of like you're showing a way that you can love yourself, and you're in that depression mode, right?
Yeah, I think it's all about that self-love, and also just experiencing the your own essence. Like, we're all infinite beings, and I feel like no matter how you have to find that, that's like the number one thing, because that's your anchor, throughout these trials that we go through. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really awesome that you came out with that song, and telling us, me and the audience, the meaning behind that, because it's, when the viewers look you up and they find that song, I want them to understand like what's that about, so that way it's more touching to them, as it was for me, because it was actually a really good song.
Yeah. It's just remember who you are. You're so much bigger than, all these problems and all these worries. Like, you're so much more than that. And so remember that, Tommie.
Oh yeah, definitely. I 100% will. and then being a musician in Hollywood, you're in LA area.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's harder to become something, or move up in the world, or move up in the musician world?
No, I think, I just started doing this thing, and I'm in a space where I'm kind of just allowing right now. So I don't, to answer your question, I feel like, if you want to do it, it's just a matter of doing it and aligning yourself with what you want. And I feel like no matter where you are, things will happen for you,
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Definitely. No, definitely makes sense. Because I mean, I talked to a couple, interviewed a lot of Canadian musicians and stuff, and they told me how like sometimes it's difficult for them to do shows or do things in America because it's a different market. And do you feel like it's a different market in America?
And I mean, I haven't really been out to do shows or anything. I'm just at the start of this thing where I'm like just barely even getting an online presence, I feel like, so So I couldn't really tell you firsthand experience. So yeah, I
Oh,
don't
so this is
know.
your first time. Okay, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
I've done a few shows, but nothing crazy.
Oh, so you done shows. Tell me about that.
Well, it was mainly through the school, and then also I started. So I have this. I started these events like through Spiritual Drunks, and I put on some shows where a lot of us that go to LA Film School, we all performed at the study, and had a couple of the study was like literally right before the COVID hit and all of that. So we haven't done any since then, but they were amazing, like super amazing. Like there was so much talent, it was so much fun, and I was just getting into the groove of, performing and kind of feeling confident up there. And, we had to all kind of retreat after that.
Man, so it was pretty nerve-wracking for you, huh? To like perform in front of a lot of people, or is it like 100 people or anything, or what?
No, it wasn't 100 people, not yet.
Not
But
yet,
it was
right?
still nerve-wracking.
Well,
I get
take
so nervous. I get so nervous. So
really.
I do. Yeah.
Well, why is that? Why is that? If I ask.
Well, I never did. I never performed. It wasn't until I went to school that they had, we through LARS, Los Angeles Recording School, we have this theater that we can, perform at. And so it was really intimidating and just a little scary, a lot scary, to go out there and not only perform, my own music and be vulnerable in that sense, but it's like, in front of people. Yeah. That's a big thing for me. So it wasn't until then that I started kind of getting the hang of it. It was good practice for sure.
And what'd you do like to practice yourself? Did you like stand in front of the mirror and like act like you're singing to like build yourself up, or what?
Yeah, or yeah, that. And also I have really amazing friends who, like performed with me. And so it also felt like this thing that we were kind of doing together, and so feeling the support of your friends. And then also rehearsals, we would do rehearsals beforehand, which would also help with becoming comfortable. But there's nothing like that moment where there's people out there, whether there's 5 people or 20 people, it's still that same feeling, that gut feeling of like, what if I forget my lyrics, or what if what if this, or what if that, like where my mind just kind of goes crazy. But the more that I did it, the more comfortable it got, and the more I was able to just be excited about it more than anything.
That's awesome. And did you like your first performance? Were you like, was your hand sweaty and you were just nervous and
The first performance, I was like shaking. I remember Cameron, he was in the back with me. Cameron Williams. He's also a really super talented artist. He just came out with an album. You guys should go check that out, called Aesthetic. But yeah, he was in the back, and that was the day that I was like, oh my God, I literally forgot my lyric. Like it left my mind. And
no way.
yeah, I like it literally just, I went blank, and the song started, and I had to like hurry up and just engage with myself and my brain and turn things on, and it works out. But yeah, that's what it was like.
Dude, I'm like visualing this right now, like you on stage right now, holding the mic, and you're like, oh shit, what the hell's gonna happen, dude? Oh no. Music playing, you're like, okay, click. There you go.
Yeah. And then it just flowed, and it felt so good, and I was so excited, and it was like definitely an accomplishment for sure.
And then afterwards, did you go throw up? Like, oh my God, I just did that and just threw up? Or were you like, kind of like, yes, finally, I got that first one done?
No, it was invigorating. I wanted to do it again and again. It was like a drug.
Wow, that's awesome. Did you ever thought like going out and doing like street performance or anything like that? Like just to do for fun, just to build yourself up?
I did that for a little while at Venice Beach, and it was fun. Um, no, but I haven't thought about doing it again.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Can I ask, like, it didn't turn out too well, like you expected to be like, or was it like differently, or what?
No, it was actually very beautiful. I mean, it didn't, I was just starting. I only had like a few songs, and really I would go out there more of like a meditation, it'd be like me, my guitar, I'm singing, and like nobody was there, just the ocean and the sand, and it was amazing. But yeah, I don't know. It was amazing. But after a little bit, I kind of just stopped going. Yeah,
You ever
I
thought
don't
about
know.
going back? You ever thought about going back and doing it to help promote, like build yourself out a little more and stuff?
Yeah, well, what I want to focus on is this, like, so I was doing the events, I want to focus on events. So kind of like starting up live events again, to where
Mm.
it's a thing where we're promoting, inviting people to come for a live performance. I feel like, yeah, I'd probably want to do that instead.
And so that's where you want to try to more go to, like doing that, and then going on to like street performance and just having a lot of audience around you. That's actually pretty good, because I mean, think about it. Because if you do more event shows and or live stream shows and stuff like that, that helps you build you up your confidence more and get your name more out there.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, uh-huh.
well, we have to get you on the show and do a live performance.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm so with it, for sure.
Well, let's go back a little bit. So, what was Zen doing before? What was your life before music?
Um, my life before music. Okay, so my life before music was, I was doing real estate,
Hmm.
trying to make sense of that, uh, just kind of going through the motions of
Okay.
life. I'm a mother of two, so I have two kids.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you so much. They're the most amazing, beautiful little souls that I was blessed with. And yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so I was doing real estate. I mean, I was, kind of just on a totally different path, for sure.
And real estate's pretty hard to do, huh?
Um, I think it's just a matter of like whether you're passionate about it or not. And I was never really passionate about it. I was always in it for the wrong reasons. I mean, I loved the part of helping people, but I didn't really feel fulfilled, to where I was able to like express myself and really feel like I'm of purpose, like living in my purpose, or being of use to other people. And
Hmm.
so I would say that for me was, yeah, that was a big part of it, opposed to now where I'm so much more focused in being of service to other people, and to live in my truth and be able to spread that light, with other people, because I feel like that's going to go further and deeper than kind of just living on the surface, of trying to do something for the money.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And that's what that kind of like that song on your new album called "Put on Your Crown." Is that what that kind of that's about, or what?
Put on your crown. No, that was again about just, realizing that as a woman, we're gonna go through things in this life, and sometimes there's moments where we feel, or at least I felt, that I didn't want to move on anymore. And so that is just a reminder to remember that, like, again, just you're so much more than sometimes what we think we are. Sometimes we let these situations break us down and believe these stories that, even our own minds will tell us. And that state of hopelessness, I want to embed a reminder of like that you're just, you're more than you think you are. We're infinite. We're at the soul level, we can't be harmed, you know, and when we remember that and identify with that and align with that, we can move through these challenges so much, like with grace, you know?
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And that's another good song too. I mean, all your, we're going to talk about your album here in a little bit. I mean, you know, but
Thank
definitely,
you.
but yeah, but you're definitely, you know, that's just something, one of the second songs that got put in my head, like listen, you know, trying to listen to it. Cause when I listen to music, I try to like put myself, I try to imagine myself in the words of what the musician's trying to say, you know, or the song's going to say and stuff, and trying to like figure out like what it's about, you know, and how it reflects my life and reflects everybody else's life and stuff. And so that's one of the songs that like, okay, that's a pretty cool song, dude. I like that. I want to know a little more about that, you know?
Yeah. How did it make you feel? What did you think about when you listened to it?
But it just, to me, it made me feel like, I'm trying to remember all the lyrics. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Now you put me on the spot. Now you got me a hard question, man. I listen to so much music, like, you know, I didn't listen to music today, but I mean, yesterday I listened to nothing but reggae all day. Yesterday, you know, and then all this,
Okay.
you know. So now you got me in the spot. Now, but what I got from it was, just, yeah. Now you got the interviewer on spot now. No, what I got from it was actually, you know, put on your crown. To me, it was like, you know, going out there and being who you are, and you know, you want to become something, put on that crown, because you are that king, you are that queen, you know what I mean? Don't let somebody, don't put yourself down, or don't put yourself away, and don't think you're not that person, you know, because you are that person. Put on that crown, you know. That's what I got from it, you know.
Okay. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
And stuff. So, and how did you come up with a lot of these? I mean, I know we already talked about it, but I mean, these are like really good, you know, songs. I mean, honestly, like I haven't heard these good songs in so long, you know, from artists, or from a, almost, I don't want to say a first comer artist, but I mean, from a musician, you know, like these are very good songs.
Thank you so much. You're making my heart explode right now. It's like overflowing with love and joy. Thank you. I swear that means so much to me, you know? I feel like, especially for this project, because, you know, for me, this project is just going to always represent like a period in my life, and represent like that growth that happened for me as a woman, and just on my journey of remembering who I am, you know? So thank you.
No, you're welcome. Now you got me all blushing now over here. You got me all blushing over here now. Like, dang, man. I wasn't like trying to like, I was just being nice. No, I'm joking. No, but to that question, when you said as you being, you know, to remember you as what you became as a woman with this album and stuff. And by the way, happy International Women's Day, by the way, or
Thank you.
Month, I think it is, right? Or, yeah, Happy International Women's Month. Do you feel like
Day.
Yeah, Women's Day. Yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't remember month or day. I couldn't remember what it was, so I might get hated on for saying the wrong
month,
thing.
both. I mean, it should be every day, right?
Exactly. No, 100% agree with you on that. You know, do you feel, you know, this album is going to help inspire a lot more women?
That is definitely the intention, for sure.
You know, because a lot of women these days, but you know, been going through so much pain and sorrow, you know, for centuries and decades and stuff, you know, and like, you know, having, you know, strong women like you coming out with a really good album to inspire these women who've been through so much, you know, poverty and abuse and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, do you feel like, you know, this is going to another way of helping women to get themselves in focus again? Is that where is that what I'm trying to say? Is that where your music, you want your music to go towards? It's like not just women, but to general human beings, to help them, get them to better themselves in lives.
I mean, ultimately, yes. I would say, yeah, like my prayer with this and my intention is that people can just reflect and again, just, realize their truth. And yeah, that's the intention. So I hope and I pray that, this does help heal other people. That's what music has done for me. It's like always been there for me, no matter what. Like if nobody was there for me, nobody was answering my phone call when I needed them, then there was like always a song to make me feel good, to carry me through that time. And I would love to be that for other people.
Yeah, and there was one song that I liked. It was I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was the Crown, Put On Your Crown, but there's that one where you sang through, and then you talked.
Oh, I Am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me the
Yeah, so
story
that
behind that.
was the moment. Those were so it's so funny because like as I was playing these songs, these are kind of like I was having these experiences of realization. And that one I actually I made it on my MPC, and I feel like I wrote it in just like a quick amount of time and it just came to me. So that one is about, I say I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am love, I'm the light shining from above. So again, it's just talking about somebody coming from like a storm, and coming out victorious and coming out strong and realizing that through it all, like their power, their eternalness of themselves, and not trying to fit, a certain description of what we're supposed to be, what we should be, or anything like that. But just realizing that like everything that we think are our flaws, or that are wrong with us are actually like our superpower, and to like embrace that and accept that. And so beautiful. And that was the moment that I accepted that, and that was the moment that I just realized that I was a part of like this whole entire universe, like a part of it all.
Okay. No, that's actually pretty cool to hear that, because I mean, I was kind of wondering, because I was like, man, what's she, I was trying that same thing again. I was trying to picture like what you're coming at, you know what I mean? Like, were you coming at like life experience and then trying to tell your life experience in your own words?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's all my music though.
You're like, that's all my music.
For the most part, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome that you can do that. You personally can take your life experience and put it into words that will help other people, and other people would listen to your music and put it in their own way, in their own words, in their own lifestyle, or what they're going through at that moment, and make them feel good. I mean, do you ever thought about being like a poem writer or anything like that, or have you been a writer for poems?
I write. I like to write occasionally when they come to me. I've thought about putting out, yeah, I do write. Keep it short.
Oh, you do? That's awesome. And what do you usually write? I mean, I know music, but I mean, what do you mostly like? You try to write?
It's usually free. It's usually just like free writing, and it will come out in the form of, some sort of poetry or kind of rhyme, but really just be to express something that is again going on in that moment. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, that's cool, dude. Like that's
Do you
if you're
write? I want to know more about you too.
do I write? Nah, I don't write. Yeah, actually, I do. I do. I mean, I do write here and there, but I mean, but if I do write, I'll just throw it away. I'm like, I don't like it. I'll throw it away. But I actually, the funny thing is, I haven't written in like so long. I mean, I did write a poem when I was like in middle school a long time ago.
Yeah.
and I won awards and stuff. But I mean, I haven't written it ever since then.
Okay. Wow,
I
you made
don't.
me
And I,
start
if
writing
you ask me
again.
what I know,
You want, huh?
huh? I said if you ask me what I wrote, I don't. I won't even remember it because I mean it's been middle school. You know, it's
Yeah.
probably somewhere. I have it probably somewhere in my mom's house or somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't wrote in a long time. And music too. Music to me means a lot to me. I grew up with music. You know, my parents weren't musicians or anything, but I always listened to music because my mom always had music playing. You know, like
Mm.
either Phil Collins or
Ooh, I like Phil
you know,
Collins.
oldies. You know, the golden oldies and stuff like that. So I always grew up around music. You know, not yeah,
Okay.
music in my life. You know, music has always been my life. Yeah, I listened to the Backstreet Boys here and there, but when I was younger, when I was like in the 80s, but
Yeah.
but I mean, other than that's basically it, So I love music, you hear me sing, you might run away, but I mean, I love it. I love it that much.
I
But I
doubt
mean,
it. I would listen. I would stay.
but yeah, I did try to do keyboard. My mom saw me play keyboard and I could play it, but I'm not the greatest, and I got bored of it. And I was like, I'm bored of this. I'm gonna stick to skateboarding. That's what I love the most, Because
Okay.
because you think about it, skateboarding and music, it's basically in a way it's the same thing. It's just not just I don't want to say skateboarding. All surfing and skateboarding is like the same way of music because it's a way for us to express ourselves. It's
Yeah.
an art, another form of artwork.
Yeah.
Like and it's the same with movies and same with other I don't want to say entertainment stuff, but certain things is a way to express ourselves and put ourselves out there. And that's just awesome to know that, like, and I have a lot of respect for musicians because for you guys to go out there and perform in front of 100 people or 20 people or 5 people, that's amazing, dude. I don't know if I could ever do that. I mean, I try to tell to a speech and I get nervous and I get scared and I crack a joke or I say something that I'm not supposed to say and make everybody laugh. That's just what I do, So
Yeah.
it's easier to do podcasts and live stream and shows and stuff. Even when I do my live show, I get nervous,
Do you?
I do. I do get nervous, 100%.
Wow. I didn't feel that you have like you're totally you have this really chill vibe about you. I appreciate like very laid back and you make me feel comfortable. So that's a gift.
Oh, trust me. When I do these podcasts, especially podcasts are easier to do because we don't get to see each other, so it's great, But when I'm doing the live stream stuff, like when we do our live show, the TSM live show, I actually get nervous, dude. Like I literally,
Okay.
even when we do live stream, I get nervous.
Yeah.
And then
That's
and then
funny.
when we go back on the road, when we're on the road traveling to different locations and do the show actually personal live with like 100, like 50 people staring at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nerve-wracking to me. But you know what I do? I just swallow and bite my tongue and just go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. That's good. And then I mean after time I feel like I feel
Was
like
that?
over time it, kind of becomes second nature. I said after some time, I mean, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, it will kind of become like a second nature, like something that will be, no? Or does it feel the same? Does it feel just as scary each time?
It does come like, yeah, it does. But I'm also too, I still get nervous. Honestly, I still get nervous, but it's not as bad. But I know I've done it for so long that I know when to cut it off and go straight into work, to like stage mode. You know what I mean? I call it stage
Yeah.
mode. Straight to
Okay.
stage mode because, and then once I get done, I'm like, whew, I need a beer. I need to, I need to go smoke a joint, dude. I need to go chill, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, but to make a,
Yeah.
but for here, but back to you. I mean, to your album. I mean, it's I mean, tell us how you come up with the name Journey to My Heart. Like, I want to know about that. Like, Journey to My Heart.
Okay. I mean, there's really no kind of crazy story behind it. It was literally it just came to me, and like I feel like that's how a lot of things kind of happen with my creativity, you know, when I'm expressing myself. It's the it just came to me, the Journey to My Heart, because when I looked back and I had a collection of all these songs, and I looked back at, you know, over the time that it took me to create this, and that's what I felt like it was. It was the me taking, you know, a journey to my heart from, you know, kind of being and living, living in another space to coming home, you know, as best as I can. I guess it's a practice that, you know, I practice and intend to practice forever. but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, and your album, I mean, we're going to talk about your album here. I mean, your album is just, you know, I know I said a couple, you know, songs here and there that's off the album that to me touched me and then put me into a place where, you know, made me think of my life and try to picture your life of through your words. But your album's great. You know, I mean, this is your first album, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel coming out with your first album? Like, tell me your experience, like your experience of this. You know?
Well, 4 years ago, you know, I was um using drugs and drinking and living a completely different life, and I never thought that I would ever complete anything in my life.
Hmm.
Nor did I feel like I was in a space of, you know, uh, just I mean, I'm looking for the words and I can't find them.
Take your
My
time, girl.
brain
Take
is
your time.
like, but so to go from that space, Tommie, to like, you know, into a space of recovery and healing, and into a space of, you know, really for the first time in my life, um, experiencing and believing in my own self-worth, you know, um,
Hmm.
it means everything to me. It makes me so happy. I'm so proud of myself. This for me is all of that. You know, I feel like this album represents all of that for me. Just me stepping into myself, as a woman, as a mother, as, you know, a daughter, as a sister, just a person, you know. So I'm so excited. I never thought I'd finish anything, to be real with you.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's all about alignment, and I've never been in the space that I am in now to be in alignment with myself. And that's yeah, that's really why I feel like once I came into alignment with myself, with who I am, with what I believe, with like my own, you know, morals and just vision, you know, once I was able to tap into my vision and what I wanted with my life,
Hmm.
then all of these things were able to come through me like a mama.
That's
Giving
awesome.
birth to, you know, just different projects, and this is one of those. So yeah, I think before it would have been really premature.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome to know the story or the story behind your album. You know, I mean, that's just to me that just means a lot more about your album. You know, and to finish something in your life that number one makes you nervous in front of people to actually
I
go
know.
and to go and do this album and to send it out there to let people hear this. And so you must be getting, so tell me the response that you've been getting from your first album.
Honestly, I mean, I don't have a crazy. I don't have a following like that. I have a very close knit of like friends, and I'm just starting out with this thing, but from my friends and my family, I'm getting a great response from them, and that means the world to me. Yeah, yep.
That's awesome. And are you seeing people downloading your album or getting your album and stuff? Are you seeing the numbers and stuff, or is it looking good, or is it
I'm,
growing, or what?
I'm working on that, Tommie. I'm working on that. All this morning,
I know this is your first time. I know this is your first time doing this, but your first album and all. But hey, you never know. After this, people might start boom, or I mean,
yeah.
it's just you just got to get out there and like just get the word out. And you definitely are. I mean, I see you tagging and posting a lot, and that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
you do have a beautiful voice, and it's amazing. You know what I mean? It's definitely, you have a lot of talent, and you definitely will. Hopefully people will catch on and notice, like, wow, she's amazing. Where's she been all our life?
Jeez, oh my God, stop it, please. You're making me blush.
I don't even make you blush. I apologize.
I'm melting. I'm on the floor. I'm like, thank
Hold
you.
on, drink some water
Literally,
real quick, okay? Drink some water.
I know, right? Let me have a drink of my tea.
There you go. What kind of tea you drinking?
All this morning, huh?
What kind of tea you're drinking?
Oh, right now I'm drinking Lipton, America's favorite tea.
Okay.
Usually I'm on chamomile. I love chamomile. I ran out, so I'm drinking what is here next. But yeah. I was gonna say that all this morning I was like sending out my music to like different blogs and stuff like that, and moving, getting the ball rolling. I think this is great too. Thank you for having me on your podcast again, because this is awesome. I wasn't sure how I would, I get so nervous too. I'm like, I don't know.
I can tell you're nervous. I can tell you're a little nervous. But you're doing a great job. You're doing a really good job, and you have you should be, in my opinion, you should be so proud of what you're doing, and going out there and achieving something that you, as a little kid, as a little girl in your dad's studio, watching him making beats and stuff, to what you are doing now. That's a dream come true. You know what I mean? Like you went on, my opinion is you went on this long path, and this long path, like, I'm gonna get a little crazy here. Not crazy, but get my own little thing. But each person has their own past. We have our own lives. From by the time we're 1 to 5, we're learning life. We're just entering into life, and we don't know anything going on. We're so gullible about everything. We can say, "Oh, you're 2 years old. Hey, you know what? That's not really chocolate. That's grass." You know what I mean? You can say whatever to 1 to 5. You know what I mean? And then from 10 to 10 to 13, 10 to 15, you're starting to learn life. You're starting to learn things, and you're learning your path, and it goes on and on and on. And like I always tell people is that we all have 2 doors. We have our door of, I call it the groundhog door, and then we have a door of a new path. And sometimes some people choose the groundhog door and just live that same life. And to me, what you did, you had the opportunity to take that new life door, and you went that way. And I think you did an amazing job. Like your album, you have so much of talent ahead of you.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and like, what, I mean, to tell the viewers or the upcoming musicians and stuff, what can you tell them? Like, any good advice you can tell them?
I would say the biggest thing is believe in yourself. fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your own sound, and just be true to yourself.
No, that's actually true.
Yeah.
And that's what and one last song, or before we take off in a little bit, one song that another song I liked a lot was "Love Will Find a Way." So tell me the story behind that.
Yeah. With Love Will Find a Way, I think we went over that one, but
We did?
Love Will Find a Way. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, it was a whisper of my heart.
Whispers. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's like the intro to the album. And that is just basically everything that I see. I mean, that one's pretty heavy. I think the basis of that is just, again, remembering who we are. I feel like with that, that's like my statement, that's like my, what is it? That's the tough one to explain. I mean, that was basically just remembering who we are. And like, I feel like for me, there was always like this war, internal battle that I face. And also, a lot of things that we see in society and how we allow that to shape us, and how we believe in these things, and how that can hurt us. So it's really about realizing the power of who we are and how we are powerful creators that are able to manifest whatever it is that, our heart desires, if it's in alignment with like God's will, and yeah, like that's, you should go back and listen to it. Anybody who's listening and listen to it and have your own, your own interpretation. But that's basically what I'm saying, is just, I think that it's time to kind of just remove all of these layers, color, things that we have certain, I don't know. I'm having a tough time explaining that right now.
No, you're doing good. You're doing awesome, man. You definitely are. And I get what you're saying. I definitely do. Whisper of my heart is basically, to me, what I got from it is basically saying, whisper of my heart is basically, my heart whispering what's going on, what gone on in my life and what's going around my life. And my heart's whispering to you, that's what I got from it.
Yeah. And I think the whole message from that was just like, that the goal is, if I can heal myself, then I can heal the world. And I think that one person can make that difference. And if one person focuses on, healing themselves and undoing all of the doings of the growing up, and everything that you've went through in your life, then you're able to free yourself and free your mind and come to that like self-realization, and you're able to do that for other people. So I would say, actually, yeah, that's probably what it is, summed up in one.
One little big phrase, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And what do you have? You did awesome, man. Now you can breathe. Now you can fan yourself. Like, oh my gosh, that whole thing's done now.
I had fun. Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
Now you're doing awesome. And what do you have planned for 2021? Anything other than your album dropping? That dropped last week or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember.
That was a couple weeks ago, so it was on the 26th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything big plans or anything you're trying to do, like a little tour for the album once everything opens up? I mean, anything?
It's hard to make plans. I don't like to make plans because we never know what can happen, hence everything that has. But the intention is to continue to bring beautiful things into the world. The music, I would love to set up some sort of tour. That would be amazing. Of course, I think I'm just really in a space of just setting the intention and kind of letting it flow and letting life unfold as it will. And we have a podcast coming out too that's going to be called The
Really?
Reformation. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
What? And you're gonna be the host or what?
So there's 4 of us. It's called the Reformation Podcast, and it's some friends that I met at school at the Los Angeles Film School, and yeah, I'll be one of the hosts. There's Cameron Williams, there's Darius Mack, and Rose Hutchins.
Okay. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's going to be really good. Watch out for that. Huh?
Are you excited about this?
I'm so excited. Yeah, it's just another way again for us to shift some, shift some perceptions, some people's states of minds, and bring some beautiful stuff into the world. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
And when's this podcast supposed to be dropping?
We don't have a date just yet. We're working on all the content, and we will be posting on our pages and stuff and I'll share it with you and let you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to check this out. And one last thing before we take off, is there, where can the listeners find you? Your music, your social media, et cetera, et cetera.
So my website is soundzofzen.com, SOUND of Zen. My Instagram handle is also at SoundsofZen, and my music is on all platforms, Apple, Spotify, all platforms under Sounds of Zen as well. So, yep, it's all there.
All right, guys. Well, listeners, man, make sure you download her album and get it and listen to it, because trust me, she has amazing voice, and what she sings is very, very touching, and stuff. So definitely, please go download her album, shoot her some comments, tell her what you think of it, tell her what inspired her, all that good stuff, So thank you so much, Zen, for coming on. You're definitely, you have such a good future ahead of you, and I'm very proud of you, 100%.
Oh, you're amazing, Tommie. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No problem, girl. I'll talk to you soon, and you take right. And bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.